Hey, Joe Pat Freeman from the Buffalo Criterion newspaper. Congratulations on a great win last night.
Appreciate it.
Tell me, what is your philosophy in spreading the ball around? Because does that make it more difficult for defensive coordinators? They can't pin down any one player. And how has this been received by the players on the team?
Yeah, I think you hope it makes it a little tougher, right? Where, and in any given play, anybody could get the ball. I wish it was that easy, but you hope when you go into it that maybe some tendencies here and there don't necessarily show up as much if the ball is being targeted and kind of thrown around. I think the character I've been talking about the character, the men in the room on this offense since I've taken the job here, which that selflessness mindset of, hey man, I might not get the target right now, but if as long as I do my job, my time will come. And I think the guys have done a great job at that so far. But obviously, a lot of season to go, so it's just a game to game thing. But I've been pleased with how they've been performing.
Were you pleased after watching the film? What were some of the aspects that you were not pleased with? It seems that your offensive line has really been dominant the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think without going into specifics, obviously we have to continue to find ways to get better. I don't think you can always just see the result and just think that everything's okay, right? And there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to. It's always easier to critique and to be able to go through things after you wins. Don't get me wrong with that, but there's a lot of things out there that we're going to have to improve on to be able to win this week and as the season goes. And I think our guys have the right mindset and the approach and understand that it's week 3 of the season. We got a lot of football left to play, and there's a lot for us to improve on.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
And I appreciate it.
Hi, Joe. John Worrell, the AP.
How you doing, John?
Going back to the everybody eats thing, is there a surprise or maybe a validation in knowing that mantra of everybody eats has been such a big buy-in for these guys?
No, I think it's just the guys that we have, and when you got Josh on that quarterback, it makes life a lot easier, right? And we found different ways to win football games so far, and that's what I've been pleased out, and it makes life a lot easier with that, with that mindset of, hey, if we have to go into a game and run the football to win, we've shown the ability to do that, and if we have to come out, throwing, we've shown the ability that we can do that. And so I think that helps that mindset that the guys know, hey, on any given game or drive or kind of play is my opportunity can come. And, I hope that they can, feed off of each other's energy with that.
And just lastly, how important was it? How did you see Keon respond to being sidelined for the first half or first quarter? I'm sorry. And then to have him score a touchdown with that catch, and to know that Josh, I think, probably was trying to feed him after what happened after what happened in the first quarter.
Yeah, no, I thought he handled everything the right way. Like it's never tough not playing, right? But how are you, especially as a young guy, when a quarter goes through, am I able to look at the pictures and understand so that how the game's being played, how the DBs are playing you, and so when my opportunity comes in, and I told him before the game, I said, look, there's going to be opportunities, right? No one just plays a game. You're going to get more than that quarter might not matter. You'll have 3 other quarters to be able to go play football. And he had the right mindset, the right approach, with everything. And, I was happy that he was able to, cash in on the touchdown, had a great opportunity, man coverage. And, Josh made him pay for it. And Keon made the play. And, it kind of shows to, just his mindset and not allowing that to kind of impact him and frustrate him. And, I was pleased with how he responded.
Thank you.
Coach Brady, Mookie Hawkins, Warford Sports 1080. Good win yesterday.
Thank you.
Hey, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm not quite sure everybody didn't told you this by now, right? The Brady bunch on how you are able to use so many players all at one time, and with your creativity and your play design Just care to talk about, how is that helping Josh slow the game down?
He helps the play calls. Like it's definitely not the other way around, I'll tell you that. No, but the game, like he's another year playing football, and the game slowing down for him, and just seeing it, and the chemistry that he has with the guys, the communication since OTAs, and just being on the same page, and just his leadership. It kind of, a game like last night, like those don't happen often, but a game like last night shows all the work that he kind of put in with it, and the guys put in together with it. And so, it's definitely always about the players, and them kind of going out there and bringing it to life. And it was fun to watch last night.
Absolutely. Is this like another evolution you saw of him transforming more of a shooting guard than to a point guard, if you will, right? Just by letting the game comes to him. So, Coach, just care to talk about that next phase maturation you see in Josh?
Yeah, like I think just continuing to just game to game, just continue to understand that, hey, nothing that he hasn't already shown. I mean, look, Josh has shown everything in this league that, and what you're getting every week, right? But it's the NFL. Or you can have a good week, and you got a full week where, I'm sure he's gonna, will probably get praised for how we played last night, and same people can't wait for him to have a down game, right? And so we're just going to continue to try to play to our standard and try to focus on what we can control, and the men in the locker room, and our quality of play. And, I think that's his mindset and whatnot. But, I'm pleased with where Josh is right now.
What do you got to say about a solid matchup Sunday night versus this Baltimore Ravens defense?
Yeah, going on the road is never easy, especially in this environment. It's going to be a great atmosphere, an elite defense. It's going to be for a football fan, it's the games that you look forward to, and I'm fortunate to be able to coach in them. And so we're excited for it.
Look like we can practice, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Hey, Joe. Curtis Samuel through three games. I think it's 17, 12, and 17 snaps. What's gone into, Sean talked about this a little last week about like it's game to game, you kind of go with the flow of the game. But from your perspective, what's gone into the usage, and maybe a little bit lighter usage than maybe expected going into the year for Curtis?
Yeah, I think, honestly, play counts haven't really, again, we've been extremely fortunate, and I know it's not like that in the NFL, but the reality of it is the last two games, the second half hasn't, we've been fortunate to not have to run many plays or do many things. And so you're able to just kind of do the basic stuff out there. And, I understand the reality of us through a normal game, it's not going to play out that way. So, haven't really looked into play counts necessarily for really anybody. Some people might be high because of the plays that we're kind of running, in those situations. So nothing to really kind of look into, or at least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Pleased with where Curtis is at.
Okay. And then with Josh, how much has the hand injury limited or changed what, you're asking him to do, especially like when he gets out and runs? You see when he's handing off on a couple of those plays and he kind of backhands it with his right hand. How much has that kind of changed things, game plan wise?
It hasn't changed anything, whether Josh figures it out, no matter, if he can hand off that way, he can hand off that way, but literally haven't called a play differently, mindset differently, game planning. He's good to go.
Cool. And then last one for me, sometimes when we come to the facility, we kind of see you guys walking around, the coaching staff, you and Cromer. I'm always taken back by Aaron in general. Like he always seems like that, cool, laid back kind of uncle or something at a family party. And then you see him out on the practice field and you see some of the coaches really grinding like on people's faces. He's kind of just chilling back there, watching everybody, coaching people. What's your experience with him, and what's been your take on what he brings to that coaching room?
Everything. Aaron Cromer, I believe, is the best in the business. I'm so fortunate to have him as our offensive line coach, but a guy that I can rely on. He's seen it all. He's been through, He's been in New Orleans. He's been in with the Rams. He's been with a lot of great coaches on great offenses. He's extremely bright and does a great job coming up with, plays that fit who his players are. Does a great job, relating to the players and not coaching just a set way and understanding that, how Cybo might block is going to be different than David Edwards, and that's okay. But this is how we have to get it done. And I think the players love him, and I think you see that on Mondays, but on Sundays. And I'm so fortunate to have him, my whole staff. But you asked about him, and he helps me kind of be who I am.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Joe. Congratulations on last night's win. Just the jumbo package with Alec. Obviously, you guys did it a lot last year with David. But going into last night, you only thrown it out of it once. I think you called maybe 5 of them. I think Josh scrambled on 1, so 4. How important is it for that to be successful long term to mix in throws here and there?
Yeah, I think we don't go into the game saying we have to do this because that's what our tendency is. But I think as much as you can stay balanced with anything, we're not just going to do something just because if it doesn't give us an opportunity to put our players in a position to have success. We were fortunate last night with some of the looks and some of the with the play calls that it gave us the opportunities to be able to get to some of those passes. And we have confidence in Alec and both the run game and the pass game and protection. So he makes my life a lot easier, and it also takes on some of those, it takes the low off Dawson and Dalton from having to do some of that dirty work that they do throughout the game. It just takes a couple blows off of them. So we're fortunate to be able to have those groupings, and Alec be able to get the job done.
When you have tight ends like Dawson and Dalton, and you take them off the field or at least one of them off the field in that scenario, is that one of those things where you kind of really have to see some results to justify it?
Yeah, I mean, define what results are, right? It's I just because sometimes it's like, hey, we need to see how they're playing. When we go out in jumbo, and we might see a certain look that we're not getting necessarily if we're in 12 personnel, or we might get, when we're in a big people in 11 personnel, it's going to be different than if it was just 11. And so sometimes it's not necessarily on like, hey, let me see what that one result is of that play, but hey, what are the looks and what are the advantages that we can get moving forward with that? It's not up every week, but the defenses, you have to prepare for it every week, right? And so sometimes that's our advantage by at least being able to showcase and them having a game plan for it. Yeah, so it's always up, and it's always talked about and communicated. It's just a matter of, do we do it or do we not?
Now, you guys didn't throw it to David at all last year in that package, and you obviously haven't to Alec yet, but he told me last night that he's ready.
Alec did?
To tell you that he's ready for a pass at some point.
Got it. I'm gonna dial all of them up this week. We'll probably try to get him up there on the same level as I don't know, whoever our leading receiver was last night. We'll try to give him as many targets. I'm sure that'll go well.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Joe, through 3 games, this offense is looking very disciplined. How is that possible with so many new faces? Incredible coaching staff and the character of the man. It's important to them. They understand how detailed and the accountability, everything. And, the week one, there was too many penalties, and, without even having to practice. And, those guys did a good job of handling it, down in Miami, and then having this long break, between them. The guys came to work and understand how important the practice was for Monday. And so it just kind of speaks to who they are, and the coach is doing a great job preparing and getting them ready and understand what's important. And we've been fortunate with, how they performed out there. Thanks.